Mike Sabonis. I basically came to you guys because I had a couple friends that in the past had done some like Airbnb arbitrage type stuff, and like their markets were, not the as you guys say like the sexy markets like the Los Angeles, New York City, Miami areas. My friend had it in very commercial, uh,
Mm,
professional traveler zones. So after talking to him and I kind of looked at his life and kind of what he was doing on a day-to-day basis, I thought, this is something that I want to look into. I was working in for a tech company for 10 years, for a couple tech companies for 10 years. And the thing with small tech is they pay well, but uh you never know what's going to happen at the company because they could have
sure.
a bad quarter and they need to do layoffs, or maybe they have a good quarter and times are good, but I kind of got my end of year review. It was all, 5 stars, 4 stars. Boss was like, "Oh, everybody loves working with you. You're such a good fit at the company. You're really helping us." I was in revenue operations, which is like data systems,
Yeah,
processes type of stuff. And I was like, "Oh, this is great. Like, I've been at the company for a year. Everything's going well. Come January 10th, right after the new year, they laid off about 30% of the company, and I was part of that. So I was kind of looking at that and I was like, man, this company's in charge of like a big, big part of my life, which is the income to kind of support my life. I'm doing well at the
sure.
company. Reviews great. People love me at the company. But company wasn't doing well from a financial standpoint, so my job was cut from the company. So that was obviously an uneasy feeling. I was going through the interview process, eventually found you guys, and I was just kind of like, I want to get into doing my own thing, not only for
Yeah,
the ability to escape that situation in the future, but also just to, kind of try something new. And I figured that this would
sure.
be a good kind of outlet into that type of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's the long introduction in terms of me and my background and kind of why I came to you guys.
Yeah, no, no, that's awesome. And I think it's like super important because so many people do come from like different backgrounds. People get into entrepreneurship or jump into their own business for various of different reasons, whether it's to supplement their W-2 or
Yeah.
replacing it, becoming a full-time thing. So like it is super important to kind of hear your specific situation. I guess walk me through a little bit, and we don't have to get too granular, but walk me through a little bit from like where you were when you first started to like maybe a little bit to where you are right now as far as like portfolio structure, how many properties you have. Yeah, walk me through a little bit on that.
Yeah, so I have five right now, four in Birmingham, one in Mesa. Going
Nice.
forward, I mean, for me, this is my full-time gig. Like I jumped away
Yeah.
from working in tech. I want to, scale this so that this is replacing my income from before and surpassing my income.
Yeah.
So I pretty much went live on the units like mid to late April.
Hmm.
Um, right now, like my calendar's booked up. Like I think I hit,
Yeah.
within like a week and a half in the last week of April. I think revenue was at like close to $10,000. I think it was like 8.5. Um,
Nice.
Obviously that some of that goes into rent, some of that goes into the expenses,
Sure.
but like seeing that, I was basically thinking to myself like, okay, cool, this is something that's working out. And for me, I think the biggest thing is like setting the business up operationally so that going forward,
Yeah.
like it's organized. I can scale off of that, but also I think the biggest thing for me is understanding like pricing and really knocking that down and joining those calls with
Sure.
Andrew and listening to what he's doing. And I think if you can knock down, like, I think if you have a good property and a good market, which is obviously the product part of it, and you can really
Hmm.
nail down the pricing, like you can do some pretty good things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I know obviously like okay, like we scaled up here, obviously you're still learning the pricing, you're understanding the systems, and like now it's really about dialing it in, right? Before let's say, hey, you enter another scaling phase or whatever that looks like and whatever that time does come. But like walk me through a little bit on like what got you to this point, like separate from the financial side of things, like scaling and stuff like that. But walk me through more so how we've helped you with like the systems, automations, teams, and walk me through what you've noticed, how that's helped you out, and yeah, like what that looks like specifically in your portfolio.
Yeah, Noah's been great. He's my account manager. Like I jump on, weekly calls with him. We kind of go through
Yeah,
what I'm working on right now, pricing, and he helps me out with that. And then I think the whole startup process, like registering for an LLC, getting the software set up, knowing which software helps with which part of the business, and like that
yeah,
was, I feel like if I were starting out and I didn't have his guidance and Andrew's guidance on those calls, like I think it's kind of you don't know what you don't know. I could be
sure.
setting stuff up and it could be I could think it's good, but it could just be, it just a mess, but I wouldn't even know it. So I think just because
Hmm.
Noah's gone through it, you've obviously gone through it, Andrew's gone through it, they have clients that
Yeah,
have gone through it. I knew that, what they were teaching me how to do was what actually should be done. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. What would you say? Because like, listen, I know when you and I first spoke, I told you like, dude, like systems, teams, like they're the most important aspect of this business. Like
Yeah.
separate from going into the right areas and going after the right properties, of course, that's extremely important. But setting up those systems, teams, automations, and correspondence to like growing and scaling is what allows you to actually turn this into a passive income stream, right? And of course, as you dial in pricing, but ultimately kind of shifting your time, focus, and energy into the revenue generating aspect of the business, which is like pricing, right? And then
Yeah.
like getting more properties. Talk me through like what you feel like has been the most beneficial part working with us to like get to this point that you're at now, 4 or 5 properties to like now be like, okay, wow, like this is really working. Like, let's go ahead and continue going throughout this year.
Yeah, and I think that, like just some background. Like I live in Lisbon in Portugal, and like a lot of my friends, they have these jobs where they
That's
go to
crazy. So
do.
you're fully remote.
I'm fully remote. I'm in Germany right now. My girlfriend's German. She
Yeah,
works in this like hotel and like basically the German countryside. It's like very quaint, charming, like beautiful. And yeah, I just think like I have all these friends that, they kind of do, I mean, they're hardworking,
sure.
really hardworking, but they also can do what they want to do when they want to do it. Like if someone invites them to go somewhere, it's not like oh, let me check with my boss and see if I can get 2 weeks off and going through that
Yeah.
whole struggle. Every time I've had to do that at previous jobs, I've just kind of been like, God, why do I have to do this? So I really wanted to do something that was, automated. Like I could use
Yeah.
systems to automate what was going on. Like, yeah, of course it's a time commitment because you got to make sure that your business is running smoothly, the pricing's good, answering,
Hmm.
guest questions, all this and that. But like for the most part, it is automated. If you can get a good cleaning team, you understand the
Yeah.
systems, you understand pricing, like that's the key to doing this and being profitable and not having it take up like a massive amount of your time. So for me, that's
Hmm.
that's definitely the most important thing and kind of why I wanted to go down this path. Does that answer your
Yeah. Yeah.
question?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up because like I mean, you're in a completely different part of the world right now. It's like, okay, now you're running this thing completely virtually. I mean, yeah, of course
Yeah.
you had to go there and set it up, especially in the beginning. Later on, you could definitely outsource that, like as you grow and scale. But ultimately, it's like a one-time thing, setting those up, now implementing the right systems and automations to give you that not only financial independence, which I know you're working towards, but
Right.
ultimately like that time and location freedom in correspondence with what you just mentioned, and that is extremely important. I know you and I had the discussion to begin with, right? Um, I know pricing is more of an art than a science, and like you are learning it now, and Noah's getting really hands on with you. Walk me through like your experience with that, like compared to like okay, the first unit you launched, dealing with pricing, compared to that. Like, are you understanding it? Like, where do you feel like you're at with it?
Yeah, there's so much strategy behind it. It's like,
Yeah.
I jumped on the call today. I asked Andrew about my pricing, specifically in Birmingham.
Hmm.
And he kind of went through and he was looking at my bookings and he was like, "Oh, it looks like, the average daily rate that you're getting is about 125. So like let's do that a couple weeks out, with lead
Yeah.
time, give people a chance to book that. And then to fill your calendar up until that, let's bring it down a little bit more towards break even." So I think like that strategy stuff, that's the art behind it. So I think down the road, like if I can look at my calendar and be like, all right, I have 4 days here, I have a week here, whatever it might be, I need to put my my rate at this break even, $10 above break even, give myself a little time to get towards like that average daily rate that I have maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the line. I feel like once I can understand lead time, pricing, how I should
Yeah,
adjust the pricing, rule sets, I understand. I get the concept behind that. I think the real art form is like where to put your pricing and when to adjust that pricing to something lower as you get closer and closer
yeah,
towards that vacancy. So that's what I'm focused on now. That's what I'm kind of listening to these calls with Andrew about and talking to Noah and kind of getting their expertise on that. But I do think once you can get a good understanding of that, like that's yeah, that's where the gold's hidden.
yeah, yeah. It makes sense. Hey, listen, pricing is more of an art than a science. I'm going to tell it to everyone. Like, it takes time, especially when you're in different markets to like getting that information and data on like what people are willing to pay, finding a price ceiling, a price floor, and how to basically justify that in correspondence with the booking lead time. Like, okay, let's raise pricing, keeping in mind like our break even, right? Like all these different things is strategy. And it takes time to understand and learn. So I
Yep.
was curious to see like how you are feeling with that. And listen, it takes time. It's something that comes with experience and actually doing it. Um, as we kind of wrap this thing up, like I had two last questions for you. Like I know one of the biggest things was when you and I first spoke. I think you were in Portugal, like still, because like you were kind of working remote and everything, but ultimately you still were doing this to build that location freedom and independence. Even though you were remote, but like ultimately not having, let's say, that responsibility of working for someone and like asking a boss, like doing all these different things. I guess talk to me like the differences between like going from there to like now going to like a complete full blown business owner and entrepreneur and now having that full time independence. Like walk me through that.
Yeah, it's like I'll tell you where I made the decision to like actually go forward with this. And it's funny, I sat down with my girlfriend and I was like, "What do you think about me not interview?" I was interviewing for legitimately like I don't know, 8 jobs at the time. I'd applied to like 150 companies. I was just,
Wow.
man, this is not what I want to be doing. Like this is not how you should be spending your life. So I talked to her. I was like, what if I just go all in with this, short-term rental thing? And we were like, yeah, like let's give yourself a year, see if you are where you want to be with it. But I think I like made the decision. We were skiing. We were on a ski trip. I was sitting on the balcony. It was like midweek, and I was like, man, if I could just do this like whenever I wanted to do it and not worry about taking off work from this busy tech company and trying to convince my boss that like I should be able to take 2 weeks off. Like that's what I wanted to get towards. So for
Yeah.
me, like doing this, and I've always been someone who works harder for myself and in the end like makes more money when I'm working for myself. So I
Sure.
mean, this is for me like I'm excited about like setting this up. Like this morning,
Yeah.
for instance, I got an accounting software. And normally, like part of my job at other companies was basically setting up systems for them, automating them,
Yeah.
connecting them to other systems. And I kind of be like, man, this is just like so boring. But for me, I was doing it this morning. I was like looking at reports. I was,
Yeah.
reconciling purchases. And I was like, all right, this is kind of fun because I know that in order for me to like set up a business that I want to expand in the future, especially if it's my full-time gig, like I need to make it operationally efficient. So when I was doing it, I was like, all
Sure.
right, this needs to get done. And I was almost exciting doing it. So to answer your question, I know that was a
Hmm.
lot of words there.
No,
Um,
that's good. Perfect.
I'm super happy with what's going on right now. And,
Yeah.
uh, definitely looking forward to like learning more about the business from you guys.
For sure. Yeah, I'm pumped and that is super heartwarming to see like this. I do a lot of these calls with like clients we've been working with for like 2 years or 6 months, like and just hearing from where they were to where they are now in such a short amount of time and like how quickly things can change. Obviously nothing's overnight. I guess it takes some time. Even like where you're at right now, but into where you want to be. Like
Right.
obviously you still got some work to do, but like where you are now compared to where you were is vastly different, right? So it's good to hear those experiences from our clients. Be like, you remember like our first call and like you wanted to do this and like here's where we're at now, and it's only
Yeah.
been such a short amount of time. It has been like a decade later. So it is super cool to see that and hear your experience. as we wrap things up, I mean, obviously, I know you're here to scale. Like, I know you're here to grow. Talk to me. Like, what's your like future plans, and what does that look like for you?
I want to get up to 20 units with this business model, like with the
Yeah,
arbitrage, professional travelers business. And then from there, I think once I get to 20 units, then maybe I'll look into some other stuff, maybe like purchasing properties, maybe going into some more
yeah,
like uh class A, like luxury type thing. Co-hosting properties. I feel like that's a good like offshoot to this business model. Like you have your own properties, you're managing those, and then maybe do some on the side and manage it for somebody else. So, yeah, but eyes are set on 20 units for now.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pumped for you. Cool, man. Well, listen, I really do appreciate you kind of sharing your feedback with us, and obviously like where you're at from where you were, and what these future expectations look like for you. And obviously, like we're here to support you along the way, whatever that looks like, and whatever we can do for you. So yeah, I really do appreciate you kind of coming on, making some time and chat with me. I know it's been a little bit, and I know you've been crushing it, so I'm really happy to see that. Listen, keep everything up. You're doing wonderful. Again, things take time, and I'm happy to see like where you are now from where you were. But yeah, dude, keep killing it, keep crushing it. Obviously, we're here to support you along the way, and sky's the limit. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are great, honestly. I think like those support calls are like one of the biggest things because I feel like
Yeah,
again everybody's new to this. I'm new to this. Like I don't really know
yeah,
which way is up sometimes. So just to get on there and kind of put it in front of Andrew, put it in front of Noah, and get their feedback on it is yeah,
yeah.
that's super super helpful.
If you had to kind of like theoretically look back to like where you were before you and I even first spoke on our first call. But when you're at that like tipping point of like, like I really want to do this full time, I really want to take this step and like kind of become your own boss. Like if you were talking with that version of you, like when you first got into this, and someone's like watching this, that's like kind of feeling that same feeling, like what would you tell to them? Maybe not specifically starting Airbnb, but more so being that state of mind of like, I really want to get my own thing going. I really want to work for myself, take that bet on myself. Like, what's that like one piece of advice that you would tell to your past self or like someone that is watching this that was in a similar position?
Yeah, I think it's just like if you put in the time, if you put in the energy, if you kind of become a student of the game at this, like you can
Yeah.
succeed at it and you can make good money at it. And I think if you want to take it on as a full-time gig, like you need to scale into uh like more units. But I think if you can again understand pricing, understand the operations of it, like there's no reason why anybody can't be successful at this. Like even more successful than a 9 to 5 job. Like I do, maybe it's a manifestation, but I do
That's
expect
great.
myself to be more successful at this than I was at any of my tech 9 to 5 jobs. So um, I think
Absolutely.
I think for me it's just yeah, I'm happy that I jumped into it. I'm happy that I took the leap and yeah, it's it can be done, I would say.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. Cool. Well, listen, I appreciate it again. Thanks for coming on. Is there anything that I can help you with specifically, like while we're here? Do you need any help?
No, no, no. Everything's been great. Noah again is awesome. Super helpful. Gets back to my messages really quickly. Andrew on those calls. I think everybody really, really, really appreciates like
Yeah.
the guidance that he's able to give. So
Hmm.
no, no, everything's been going really well, and I'm excited to get more units. So yeah,
Yeah. I'm excited for you. All right.
thanks, man.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. Listen, I appreciate you again making some time. We're here
Of
if you need
course.
anything. Shoot us a message on Slack. We'll help you out, but keep crushing it. And we're here for you. All right.
Sweet, and good luck to you, Aurelio. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. I'll talk to you later. All right.
Yeah, take it easy. Bye.
Bye.